Naima wanted me to show you what the INVOcell device is. It has three parts. This is called the retention device. It's just a very soft, high quality silicone, like a menstrual cup or a diaphragm, but of course has some drainage holes in it. This cylinder is what protects the embryos, keeps them sterile in the vagina. And this is really where the magic happens. In this little cone is the, can you see it, Naima?
Yeah, I zoomed in on it.
All right. So what happens on the day of an egg retrieval, the embryologist prepares one of these devices for each patient. And she places media in the cone, and it sits in the incubator and equilibrates for temperature and pH and oxygen. And after we retrieve the eggs and inseminates them, she uses a very fine pipette. She works through this little hole in the top of the device.
It's little.
Yes, it is little.
Yeah.
I don't have one of her fine pipettes here, but I have this is an insemination catheter, and this is the way she works with it under a microscope.
Oh,
and
wow.
I have a monitor where I can verify on the monitor what's happening under the microscope, and this way she places the inseminated eggs into the INVOcell device. And we can count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We confirm that that's there. She closes this tight, it spins, and then uses her pipette to test it, be sure it's truly closed and there aren't any leaks or anything. And then this cylinder has a little notch in the bottom that seats the cone. She closes this up tight. The patient's name is on a little label here, and she hands me this whole little package of the retention device and the INVOcell. And I place this in the top of the patient's vagina, and the patient acts as her own incubator. Rather than having the embryos growing in an IVF lab for 5 days, the patient incubates them herself. And after 5 days, the patient comes back, and I slide this out, and I open it. And the embryologist, it's not sterile anymore. I'm in the procedure room with this. The embryologist comes in and lifts the sterile cone out, takes it into the embryology lab and puts it under the microscope and identifies the embryos. And then we see what we have. We expect there's going to be some variety. There will be some eggs that didn't finish fertilizing, some that grew for 2 or 3 days, and what we're looking for is called a blastocyst. It's when the embryo grows for 5 days. It makes about 120 cells, and this is what we transfer into the uterine cavity the same way one does in a traditional IVF cycle.
All right. That was cool.